Bienvenidos amigos to another episode of the More Live Diaries podcast. And it's been over a month since we've done one of these podcasts. So we've been slacking a little bit, but we'll talk about what we've been up to, our life in Mexico in the last month, why we haven't done a podcast. We'll be covering Semana Santa, which was absolutely insane here in Puerto Vallarta. And we got a whole lot more to cover on today's episode. Please, folks, if you do like the content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It helps us keep making these podcasts, keep making these travel videos, and like, comment. And also, if you head over to our website, morelifediaries.com, we do have a newsletter that we will be sending out every single week to you guys, just covering a whole bunch of stuff, including our travel videos, extras, and
updates from our life.
Updates from our life. There it is, folks. So let's get into this podcast.
What is More Life Diaries? Reflections of the past. Life in the moment. Manifestations of the future. This is our journey. The More Life Diaries podcast.
Guys, it's been a long month since we've had this conversation.
Sorry if we're a bit rusty.
Yeah, we're a little bit rusty, but we've had a very busy month. I think probably our podcast was over a month ago when I was looking at the last time we've done this. So a lot has happened. Here we are, the second week of April already. And yeah, we're just on the tail end now of Semana Santa. So a couple week vacation that the kids had from school and a very crazy last weekend that happened in Puerto Vallarta. So let's get into that before just going over kind of what's been happening with us. And the reason I want to start with this is because our one dislike about PV on our 5 reasons we moved to PV was the sheer abundance of tourists that are kind of in and out of the city. And last weekend was no exception. So it was absolutely insane.
Last weekend was like the max I've ever seen it. Like we were talking last month or whatever it was about how many tourists there were. And like, this was just like
unreal.
We couldn't even imagine like going onto the beach and not even knowing where to sit because there was just so many people.
Yeah. And never even throughout Christmas or any busy periods has like our beach, which is Playa Camarones. We call it our beach. We don't own it, but
it's open to the public.
It's the closest beach to where we live. And never seen it even remotely close to how busy it was, even on a Sunday, which does get pretty busy here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Semana Santa. And the reason it gets so busy is because everyone gets, I'm assuming like a week off.
2 weeks. Like the students get 2 weeks. It's basically like it's Easter. So Semana Santa means Holy Week. So it is the Holy Week like everywhere else. So Easter, Good Friday, Holy Thursday, Palm Sunday, all of the things. I think I went backwards, but anyways, it's all of that. Plus it's like what the US has of like spring break.
Yeah.
Basically that idea, just like a party week. And so I guess there's some places in Mexico where the holy part of Semana Santa is more focused on, where there's more parades relating to the religious event, the religious celebration. They do have stuff here. Obviously, it's still Easter and there's still people celebrating at church and families celebrating. But Puerto Vallarta is obviously the party spot where people come to, like people from other parts of Mexico come to just like party.
And that's what surprised me the most was how many Mexicans from all over came here. It was almost only Mexicans that were here. They were saying like 30,000 expected to travel by land
alone.
only. So that's not even including people flying in and out from the States.
Flying in and out, and also cruise ships coming. Like we still have the regular tourism, but plus this like extra cohort of tourism. It was crazy. Like we have street parking, so we don't have a dedicated parking spot, and it was like we'd have to drive around and around and around.
Papa had to do laps
looking for a place to park. It was crazy. But that being said, it's also like a beautiful thing to see, and that's kind of what we wanted to touch on about our previous dislike. Basically just flipping it to a positive, because it is also a positive, like mostly a positive. Like there's a little bit of inconvenience at times, but overall I think it's a beautiful thing to see, right? Like
it's just beautiful in general to see people traveling. I don't know how it was kind of during the whole COVID period, but we heard that this year was like the big bang where like everything is open, everything is good to go. So everyone was traveling. And it was really nice to see that, you know, people aren't afraid to live like they've been in the last couple of years. People just want to really enjoy themselves. For the most part, you know, things seems very safe. And it was just nice, even with the, you know, overabundance of people. It was just a very cool vibe. And the other thing is too, specifically to Semana Santa, which we didn't see so much throughout the holidays, even though they did have specific like holiday related activities. Like Semana Santa, everyone was out, everyone was doing stuff. We had Taco Fest here in Parque Hidalgo. Like I've never seen Parque Hidalgo turn up like that. There was like a DJ, people dancing. It was just nice to see these little parts of the city that really brightened up for Semana Santa. Yeah, so everyone was out. The beaches were absolutely crazy, and it was still such a very good time.
And I think when you say, like, from our perspective anyways, like when you talk about it being a party, you just kind of imagine like 20-year-olds drunk or something like that, like partying. But it's like everyone together, like families with like the abuelas are out, the kids are out, teenagers with their parents.
Yeah, like daytime
it's
vibes.
It's not like, you know,
it's
just
not like clubbing. There is that
clubbing,
part of it,
but there's also just like, and everyone comes together and celebrates. So it's just like a really beautiful thing to see, I think. And also for like, like there's still some partying going on.
21.
Even like when you take into consideration like the last few years and people not traveling, and like even outside of Semana Santa, the tourists that are now coming. I think this is actually how we got onto the topic. It's just like a lot of the tourists and foreigners here are a bit older, and it's just nice to see them coming out, them traveling, them enjoying their life, meeting up with friends, like groups of them traveling together. It's just like it's just nice to see. It's nice to see people like living life and enjoying themselves and exploring and not stopping. And
and being friendly. Everyone's friendly. Everyone smiles at each other. Everyone says, you know, buenos dias, buenas tardes. Like just such a cool vibe, even though, you know, this is a bigger town. It does get very busy. Everyone just has a good energy. Obviously, throughout the crowds, you know, there's always a few cancer cells, you know, overly drunk people or people being rude. That does happen everywhere. So it's important not to generalize based on, you know, less than 1% of the people that you see acting in that matter. So overall, like, it was very nice to see everyone being out. Very nice to see the city like come alive, even little parts that we hadn't seen previously. And we had friends that did come during that period, and they also had a great time, like despite the city being so busy. And of course, we couldn't do everything that we wanted with them, but we found alternatives, and there was more than enough alternative activities to do with them.
What was your highlight of Semana Santa?
Taco Fest. No, we actually just walked through Taco Fest. We didn't end up eating there because it was very crazy.
It was overwhelming.
Yeah,
to
and
choose
we had
which
the
line
kids
to
and
get
stuff
into.
like that. So I think just the overall highlight for us was having friends over and showing them how lively the city gets. And even that it was that busy that we still could find little hubs throughout the city that were still quiet, that we could still do our thing. So it didn't interrupt, us bringing them to sightsee and those types of things.
I'm going to get more specific.
Yeah.
We went, because our friends stayed at the Sheraton, Bougainvilleas. We went to the Sheraton brunch, which we've been hearing is like really good things about. And
the Sunday brunch.
The Sunday brunch lives up to it. It's a bit pricey if you are a local. Technically, we're locals. We have an address here. You get a 20% discount. But like the price tag is larger than most things. But then when I saw the place, and it was just like an insane amount of selection.
Yeah, like you're eating for 2 days, basically.
Yeah, the food is great. And then you go in there and it starts at, I don't know, like what time it starts, like 9, let's say.
I think.
It ends at 2. So you can like just be there the whole time. You can leave, go to the beach and come back in and eat your lunch, which is kind of sick. And there was a mariachi band playing. There was some other musical performances.
And previously they had the brunch, which included a day pass there, so you could have full access to the pools, and the pools were also very nice. But unfortunately, apparently since COVID, they don't allow like access to the pool, but you could still, like Kathleen said, go for, a few rounds between beach rounds. So the buffet was like amazing. There was everything very good. There was, barbecue, chilaquiles,
like traditional, like Canadian breakfast, like French toast, pancakes, that type of thing. Yeah. But then traditional Mexican, we had sushi, there was an ice cream thing, there was cake, there was everything. Like, it's great.
Yeah,
it was great.
Highly recommended. It is expensive. If you do live in PV, they didn't ask us for anything, so you could just say you live in PV and they didn't ask us for anything. We didn't actually even tell them.
I think the guy just heard our friend say, "Oh, you're locals, you get a discount," and then the guy just was like, "Oh, you're local."
So you could try to finesse a little bit, but it was definitely worth it if you are even just coming for a week. Like, stop by the Sheraton for the Sunday brunch.
Yeah, it's a nice treat for sure. Would do it again, but Sheraton, bring back that pool pass.
The pool pass. With the pool pass, it would have been very nice because the pool is very nice, and for kids too. Yeah. What's been going on in our lives in the last 30-day living in Mexico? So a lot has happened and a lot has not happened. And what I mean by that is basically since the end of December, we've had people visiting us on rotation, and
sometimes that 2 at a time.
Yeah, exactly. And we're very grateful that we've had family and friends visit us even just so soon after we moved here. But I think that now we've only had maybe like a week break in between at most
since December 31st.
Yeah, but that being said, we had an amazing time with everyone. Nothing but good memories, good vibes. But we are ready, I think, to get a routine established.
I feel like we talk about establishing a routine every episode. Podcast. It starts and then it goes.
And just get back to creating too. It is a little bit awkward and difficult. Not that they would mind if we like filmed an episode while they're here or while they're in it, which we have done before, but it's just easier for us as new creators to do it on our own. Like we're able to manage it on our own, but with other people there, just kind of like
we feel
standing
awkward.
by. It's just awkward. Yeah. It's already awkward enough, like us doing it in public. For us as new creators, that, having other people there is a little bit more awkward. So we're getting back to it, guys. We're getting back to the weekly podcast. We're going to be dropping a lot of episodes, a lot of content. We're trying to push this YouTube thing forward, and we're having a great time doing it too. And we're seeing just some beautiful places around PV. Yeah. What are you most excited to see and to shoot in future episodes?
I'm really looking forward to doing like an overnight somewhere. Like we haven't done that. Just Like we keep going on day trips, but I think even to the places we've already been to actually like sleep there and like experience like a full day and night, would be really cool. I'm looking forward to doing that. And like, I mean, eventually I'd like to be able to kind of compare and show like prices of things. Like, you know, this is like a super budget, like that's our style, budget Airbnb or something like that. And this is, you know, a luxe, like what you can get, whether we're just touring it or we actually get to stay, like it would just be fun. Because I think that's something that I always would look for on a travel vlogs and stuff like that is, you know, what are the prices? What do I get for my money? And we've been eating a lot of tacos and stuff like that, but yeah, to show more of our like favorite stuff and maybe more of a list.
Yeah, show like the things we really do love that we do regularly that we haven't really shown yet or gotten the opportunity to. But yeah, it is interesting to see like, what this amount of money could get you versus the lower end. And we always find that we have more than enough kind of like with the budget friendly option because we spend a lot of time outside of whatever it may be, the Airbnb, the hotel room. We're typically outside like all day, especially if we're in a new town. So it's interesting to see, you know, what you may be able to get for different types of prices. And also our viewers, which is you guys, are probably, and you know, some of you might not be comfortable with the budget option and you're looking for us to do this. So we just want to have a healthy balance of stuff on our channel.
I mean, we'll take that sacrifice for you guys in the Lux Hotel, you know?
The AC.
It's hard. It's hard.
We're going to be staying inside the Lux Hotel the whole time in the AC.
Yeah, if we stay in one, we're never leaving.
But yeah, I think amongst other things, just exploring new beaches, which I'm excited for. Like we have a few that we want to check out on the southern side of the state. And just getting to explore new things because, yes, we have explored a few new things throughout the last month, like San Pancho being like one of our favorites, like top of our list right now. We just did the episode, so check that out. But also, we haven't really in the last month, beside that, and maybe like the Sheraton and maybe a market or two, like really explored different things.
Yeah.
And
I mean, everything we explore is Puerto Vallarta or the Sayulita area. Like we haven't gone anywhere. So I think too, I'm going to add to what I'm excited for is to eventually go to a new locale, like completely, like maybe go more inland. Like I think as it gets hotter, we'll probably want to break from the heat at some point. So we might go, whether it's Guadalajara or maybe even more into another state. I don't know. Who knows? We'll get wild. But something a little bit different just to kind of show everyone.
Yeah. To break things up. Yeah. And part of the reason that, you know, we haven't been filming as much too in the last month is because as we had visitors over, like we kind of want to show them what we're comfortable with showing them and bringing them. And we have experience there. So it's just like an easy kind of like, hey, we're experienced out here, guys.
That and like, you know, you adjust it to the person, right? Like we know the people who are coming here and what they might be comfortable doing. So we bring them, like for my mom coming here, she really likes flowers. So we brought her to the botanical gardens. Like we obviously bring them to things that we think they're going to enjoy. She likes markets. We went to the market. Yeah. And that's something that we really checked out a lot in the last month, I think, is we've been exploring a lot of the markets around here. So I know we've shown Saturday market.
Yeah, walking tour of Saturday market in Santa Maria.
A little bit. We filmed some stuff in a few other places. We haven't shown it to you yet, but there's a Sunday market in Mojoneras. We went to Pitayal, which is not really a market, but just shopping there. And we're going maybe to a market tomorrow. So, we did the Cinco de Diciembre market too, the fish market. Yeah, right. So we've been like just hanging out at markets, exploring markets, seeing what they're about, price comparing and stuff like that, which we want to make an episode for that too. Yeah, and just like price comparing for ourselves as we settle in here, we kind of want to know
where we'll be doing our own grocery shopping. So we rarely go to the supermarket anymore that's near us. We've just found better options, better quality, and cheaper prices at the local markets. And we're all about supporting local too. So it just makes sense for us to spend our money wisely, but also put it in the pockets of, you know, the people that are growing it and selling it. So definitely we'll be doing some market content. I think that was well received when we did even the Saturday, like picking through clothes and stuff like that. So getting to show those types of markets a little bit more in depth, because there is a lot that we didn't show, but yeah.
I think, I mean, just to summarize it, the markets are the best prices for your produce for sure. Clothing and other things, markets are the way to go. Obviously, some of them only run on specific days, so you have to make a lot more plans for that than like just walking to a grocery store at whatever time. Even the fish market here, which also has produce in Cinco de Diciembre, it's every day, but it stops at 3. So I mean, you have the convenience of the supermarkets, but the prices in the markets are just like hands down way cheaper. Yeah, I don't know. We'll go into like comparison too about like different grocery stores. There is a difference for sure.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
We've noticed in certain stores. If you're a mom, get your diapers at Woolworth. They're so much cheaper than everywhere else.
It's good to know. All you moms out there. Woolworth. Yeah, besides that, what's been going on? Want to talk language? Like, how would you say your Spanish is going?
I think it's going well. I definitely think we were rusty when we got here, and we warmed up pretty good. I mean, I think what I really want to improve is just more like deep conversation.
Yeah.
I think like I noticed that like the people we talk to most are the people that run the store downstairs. Like we'll chat with them, and that's like where the struggle happens. Where we're just like, oh wait, how do I conjugate that verb? Like I think both of us are really good at going to restaurants, going to the grocery store, like daily activities. Like we know the language, we're comfortable with it. There's no struggles. But yeah, like
I think, for me, I'd say I've hit a roadblock now, or not a roadblock, but maybe a plateau where all of our, you know, daily activities and the routine that we do have, we're able to communicate quite well. We now know, you know, the follow-up questions that are going to be thrown at us, you know, how to order, what to, like, all of that is very good, but conversational now is what I think I need to develop, you too. And I think that will come with, you know, just exercises, practice, studying. I'm still at the point now, which I wasn't so much in Chile once we had lived there for a year. I'm still like, when someone says something, I translate it in English, and then in English, I translated back to Spanish. So it's just like a whole thinking process.
Yeah, like we could make a meme of that. Like I bet like they say something to us and it's like this pause.
It's like the calculation, like and you have to get over like the embarrassment of like that blank stare you're gonna give the person, because it's gonna happen, and like they must, I don't know if they're expecting it, but it just does happen. And for the most part, people just appreciate you speaking a little bit of Spanish.
Mark gets so many compliments on Spanish. I'm so jealous. I get none.
Yeah, and I'm not that good, guys. So don't think like I'm fully fluent at all. But yeah, I think I'm at the roadblock now where I just need to pick up like the textbook, Duolingo, get out there, practice a little bit more.
I think it's get out there and practice. I think like we could do Duolingo till we die, and like it just really comes down to I think now, because someone was asked, like one of our friends, the last ones that were here, were like, well, why don't you like go to some sort of meetup, make friends, whatever, with more local people? And it's just, I was like thinking about it. I'm like, well, we have literally had somebody here hosting somebody for like almost the entire time, like since like the end of December. So that, like when we were talking about a routine and things we would like to do, I mean, I think that would be on our list, like some sort of language exchange. Yeah,
get out there a little bit
and
more.
Get like a little bit more time that we can spend with us and just like
Yeah.
establishing those roots.
And like, yeah, doing that, meeting people, meeting locals, language exchange, but even like going to more expat group events and stuff like that. So getting to know that community a little bit more because, yeah, we've just been so busy with everything going on. So it'll be nice to sort of get our feet wet with some language exchange.
Like we know all our neighbors, and they're basically all like locals here. But yeah, like to expand it a bit more would be good.
Yeah, and we can have conversations for the most part, but sometimes
I'm exhausted after those.
Yeah, we're throwing out like English words or like I'm forgetting stuff. I'm always like replaying conversations back in my head afterwards with like proper grammar.
It's the ultimate, you know, when you have those like arguments with somebody and then like 20 minutes later, you're like in the shower, and you're like, oh, I should have said that. It's like that for like a million. I'm like, why don't I know how to say these things in the moment?
Yeah, guys. So that's about it for us catching you guys up on our last 30-ish days. And if you have any questions, if you want us to touch on something on an episode, hit the comment section. Let us know. We're here for it. We'll be replying back. We'll be putting together some stuff for you guys. And we want that interaction to be able to provide, you know, what you guys are looking for the most part. So let us know. Also, if you want to support the channel, head over to buymeacoffee.com/morelifediaries. You can basically buy us 1, 2, 3 coffees, and it goes directly to us to support the channel, to keep us going, and to keep us traveling, and to keep us buying a lot of tacos. So thank you so much, guys. If you made it this far, we do appreciate you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like button.
And subscribe to the newsletter.
And newsletter at morelifediaries.com. We'll be back next week with another podcast. We promise. This is our journey. More Life Diaries. Peace.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of More Life Diaries podcast. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show wherever you're watching or listening. And if you'd like to support the show, head over to buymeacoffee.com/morelifediaries. Again, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, this is our journey. More Life Diaries.